There's a real possibility that Tua Tagovailoa could find himself benched by the Miami Dolphins this season, replaced by rookie 7th-round pick Quinn Ewers. And yeah, that might sound wild at first, but when you look at what's happening in Miami right now, it's not as far-fetched as it seems. According to a recent report from NFL insider Ian Rapoport, if things don't improve soon, the Dolphins could seriously consider making a change at quarterback. Rapoport explained that while Tua would need to hit a major slump for that to happen, the idea of a benching is not off the table. Now, before we dive any deeper, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and tap the bell icon so you never miss an update. It really helps the channel grow, and you won't want to miss what's coming next in this story. Back to Miami. Let's be honest here. Whether you're the biggest Tua supporter in the world or one of his toughest critics, we all have to admit this conversation isn't crazy anymore. The Dolphins are sitting at 2-7, and this season is quickly slipping away. If they fall completely out of playoff contention, what's the harm in giving the rookie, Quinn Ewers, a chance to prove himself over the final few weeks? Tua's performance has been frustrating, to say the least. He's thrown 11 interceptions in just 9 games, ranking among the league's worst. And the irony? This is the first season in a while where he's actually stayed healthy. The one thing everyone wanted, a full season of Tua, and now it's happening. Yet the results on the field have fallen off a cliff. You can see it on tape, the hesitation, the lack of confidence, the missed reads. There are moments where he looks like the quarterback Miami hoped for, but just as quickly, he'll make a throw that leaves you shaking your head, wondering what went wrong. The decline isn't just in numbers, it's in body language, timing, and trust. This team expected Tua to take the next step. Instead, it feels like he's stuck, or maybe even moving backward. And as painful as that is for Dolphins fans to hear, it's a conversation the franchise can't keep avoiding. Let's talk about one specific play that perfectly sums up what's going wrong with Tua right now. The Dolphins' offensive line was overloaded on the right side. A blitzer came free off the edge. Tua recognized it, took the snap, and scrambled left. But instead of keeping the play alive, he took just a couple of steps and then threw the ball straight into the dirt, intentional grounding. When you look back at the film, it's clear the rusher was still 4 or 5 steps away. There was open field in front of him, plenty of space to extend the play, and yet, he gave up. That's not just a bad read. That's a quarterback losing trust in himself. It's moments like that where you can see the confidence fading. Tua didn't believe he could escape the rush, didn't believe he could buy time or make a throw downfield. And that lack of belief, that hesitation, is what's holding the Dolphins back right now. Now, this isn't just speculation from fans. NFL insider Ian Rapoport has doubled down on this story. He first hinted at a possible QB change before Week 9, but then followed it up again the very next day, saying flat out that Tua is playing to keep his job, not just for this season, but possibly for his entire future in Miami. That's serious. When someone like Rapoport repeats that kind of report twice in 48 hours, it means there's real smoke, and likely some fire behind it. We don't know where it's coming from. Maybe head coach Mike McDaniel, maybe the front office, but clearly, the conversation is happening. And the message is simple. The next few weeks are absolutely crucial. The Dolphins face the Bills, Commanders, and Saints in November. If Tua continues to struggle and Miami keeps losing, we might not just see a change later this season. We might be witnessing the beginning of the end of Tua Tagovailoa's time as the Dolphins quarterback. The pressure's on. Every snap matters now. It honestly feels like the conversations about a quarterback change in Miami may have already started behind closed doors. Here's why. Earlier this week, both Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa addressed the media, and their comments said a lot without saying much. McDaniel didn't deny the possibility of a change. In fact, he said something that really stood out. We play the players who give us the best chance to win. If that changes, we adjust. That's not exactly a vote of absolute confidence. It's a coach leaving the door open, just in case. Tua responded a couple of days later, and while he tried to stay calm and professional, you could sense the tension. It sounded like a player who knows the team is evaluating everything right now. And honestly, that makes sense. McDaniel has backed Tua for years. The franchise has built around him, weapons, protection, play calling, all designed to make this work. But when your quarterback isn't producing and your season's slipping away, loyalty can only last so long. Think about it. If the Dolphins lose their next 4 games and fall out of playoff contention entirely, what reason is there not to see what rookie Quinn Ewers can do? At that point, it's not about saving this season. It's about evaluating the future. Some fans are suggesting waiting until the final 2 weeks to start Ewers. But honestly, why not give him the whole month of December? Let the kid play. Let him experience the pressure, the reads, the mistakes, and maybe even spark something new in that locker room. If the Dolphins are mathematically eliminated by early December, and it's very possible, then keeping Tua in just to finish out the year doesn't make much sense. This is the NFL. You play to win, or you play to prepare for what's next. And right now, Miami has to start asking itself that exact question. Are they still playing to win this season, or are they starting to prepare for the next era? If the Dolphins are truly out of playoff contention, then the question becomes simple. Why keep playing Tua Tagovailoa? At that point, it's not just about performance. It's about protecting what little value remains. If Miami really plans to move on from Tua after this season, the last thing they want is another injury that kills any trade possibility. Keeping him healthy means you can at least explore a potential deal in the offseason with a team willing to take a chance on a former top 5 pick. And beyond that, you get something just as important, a real opportunity to evaluate rookie Quinn Ewers. Maybe he's not the long-term answer, but you'll never know unless he gets actual playing time. What if he surprises everyone? What if he steps in and plays fearlessly, wins a couple of games, and gives Miami a spark to close out the season? Sure, that might hurt your draft position, but it would give the front office something they've lacked for years: options. Maybe you don't have to force a quarterback pick in a weaker class. Maybe you use that time to rebuild the defense or the offensive line and bridge things for another year. It also gives the Dolphins a chance to see who Mike McDaniel really is without Tua under center. Since McDaniel arrived, Tua's been his guy. Every snap, every plan has revolved around him. But when you look at the numbers, McDaniel's record without Tua hasn't been great. Now, with the offense sputtering, it's the perfect moment to see how he adjusts. Can he design plays for a more athletic, big-armed quarterback like Ewers? Can he adapt his system when things break down? And let's not forget, we've already seen a tiny glimpse of Ewers. It wasn't perfect, it was only about a dozen plays, but there were flashes. He missed a throw to Jalen Waddle, nearly tossed an interception, sure, but then came that one throw. Under pressure, a defensive tackle crashing right in his face, the pocket collapsing. And still, Ewers launched a 40-yard strike down the sideline, perfectly placed to de-escritch. That throw alone showed something Miami fans haven't seen in a while: a quarterback unafraid to take a shot. And that's exactly the kind of energy this team desperately needs. It's tough to admit, but right now the Dolphins have a starting quarterback who simply can't make the kind of throws elite QBs make under pressure. When the pocket collapses, when a defender is leaping at him, Tua just doesn't have the arm or the poise to launch a 40-yard strike downfield. That's the truth, plain and simple. Now, let's be clear, Quinn Ewers isn't a polished quarterback either. His mechanics, footwork, and accuracy still need work. But the difference is, he can make those high-risk, high-reward throws. He has that raw arm strength and confidence that gives you something to build on. And that's exactly why the Dolphins should consider giving him live reps in December to see what they really have. Tua was recently asked about the possibility of being benched, and his response was surprisingly honest. He said he's not playing to keep his job, he's playing to help the team win, and admitted that his performance hasn't been good enough. You have to respect that kind of self-awareness, especially in a season like this. But honesty doesn't change the reality on the field. Tua's play has been far below expectations. And if things don't turn around fast, it's becoming clearer by the week that Miami needs to plan for life beyond him. If the Dolphins do decide to make a switch, the logical choice is Quinn Ewers, not Zach Wilson. Wilson's on a 1-year deal, he's unlikely to return next season, and he doesn't fit McDaniel's offensive system. Ewers, on the other hand, represents the future, or at least the chance to find out if one exists. So if December rolls around and this team is out of playoff contention, it's simple: bench Tua, start Ewers, begin the next chapter. This season's gone off the rails, but that doesn't mean it has to end without purpose. The Dolphins can still use these final games to look forward, to test, to learn, and to finally decide what direction this franchise is heading. So what do you think, Dolphins fans? Should Miami make the change? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's talk about what comes next for this team. And hey, if you love staying updated on the Dolphins every step of the way, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest updates from around the NFL.